1.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shout at K-pop. This is episode 6, and we are recording on Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. I am Doug, and joining me today, as always, is Warren.
Hello, everybody.
Jenny.
Hi, guys. Jenny.
Anita.
Hello.
And once again, I'm Doug. So this is our 6th official episode, and because, unfortunately, Produce 48 has ended, in our post-podcast discussion, we will be starting our coverage of Show Me the Money 777.
Show me the money! Woo! Hey, yo!
Oh my god. All right, but
So excited.
our main topic for today is stigmas of liking K-pop. But before we get to that, let's go over the big new releases for this week. There's an absolute bunch of them, so I'll go through them all and then we'll talk about our favorite ones. So September 4th, we had Sunmi with Siren and Park Ji-min with April Fools. September 5th, we had OGG, the Sojushide Girls' Generation subunit with Lil'Touch. We had the Boyz right here, and we had GWSN, also known as Gongwon Sonyo, also known as Girls in the Park, their debut with Puzzle Moon. September 6th, we had SG Wannabe with Let's Meet Up Now. And then September 10th, yesterday, we had Oh My Girl with Remember Me, Pentagon with Naughty Boy, and Shinee with Countless. That's a lot of new songs for 1 week. Jesus.
How many is this? Is 10 actually 10 songs?
I think so. This is the most we've ever covered in 1 week. But all right, let's start off at the top. Sunmi Siren, which is doing really well on the charts. What did y'all think of that?
It's pretty good.
It was good. I think I was expecting a different sound from the single, but I don't know. I think it just takes more of a listen for me to get into this one.
Okay, so everyone knows Gashina, released last year, was the mega hit, right? That was humongous.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Heroine coming after it was a good song, but it was definitely not at the level of Gashina, right?
Yeah.
I think Siren objectively is in between those two songs, but because it's the third song with the same kind of feel, I'm starting to feel like, can we change it up a little?
Yeah, I was getting a little alarmed. Like, I feel like it's time for Sunmi to cause Sunmi's by no means new to the scene. Like, she's been in Wonder Girls for forever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's time for her to kind of adventure, find a new color.
I guess it's one of those things. It's like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, it's like the three songs, although they're all pretty good, they're all like the same exact theme, I would say.
Okay, I heard this song when it first came out, which was a week ago almost, and it's not that memorable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, it's like, what was it?
Even the dance is similar. It's like the gun
Yeah.
thing. I know it might be an homage to Gashina, but at the same time, it's like, dang, let's get some new dance moves going too. Like, she should do something completely different with her next comeback, I feel. But
Yeah, dance was funky, but it was fun to watch.
at the same time, it did top the charts for a while, so it's not like it was a bad song,
It's
right?
not doing bad.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation.
Mm.
But the next song that I thought was pretty notable was the Sojushide Girls' Generation subunit OGG with Lil'Touch. I really like this song.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Well, there's some caveats. Okay. I thought of course it was super professional because they are consummate professionals. They've been at this forever, and I thought most Sojushide songs as of late, it was completely carried by Taeyeon.
I agree.
I thought it was good, but at the same time, it did feel older.
I felt like there was always kind of a girls' generation tone to it, and this didn't have that. It just felt
Yeah.
like a,
I agree with you.
Okay, I
You know
can
what I
see
mean?
that.
even the music video felt like I was watching a Blackpink music video.
That's true.
It didn't feel right. I don't know.
Also, okay, so Sojushide was originally 9, and then we went to the post Jessica era of 8, and I still felt like it was Sojushide, but now that we're down to 5, it really feels like not Sojushide anymore.
Yeah, it feels a little different.
But I mean, I'm happy that they're still releasing music together, and it seems like they're trying to pivot and adjust to the times, but is that really what they should be doing? That's up for debate, right? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, personally, this release was like very underwhelming for me. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think it was that good. I was
I agree.
expecting more.
yeah, okay. I have mixed reactions, but I thought it was okay. So, we got something to say, Warren?
Oh no, I was gonna pivot into this lit song called Puzzle Moon.
Okay. I was going to mention it because it's okay.
Oh,
So let's give some background
shit.
music. They're GWSN, also known as Gongwon Sonyo, also known as
Such a-
their English name is Girls in the Park.
What a
Jesus
name.
Christ.
All right, so they're a group out of Kiwi Media Group, so it's a pretty small company, and this is their debut song. But at the same time, this was really polished.
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
This I feel like is everything to me personally, not for everybody, but personally, this is what Cosmic Girls should have been.
Exactly.
Oh,
Okay,
Everything
so
that they should have been.
I was reading all the comments on Reddit and YouTube. Everyone says that this song specifically is a combination of Uju Sonyo space theme plus FX's Four Walls.
Yeah,
I
yeah, the
agree,
Four
I
Walls
agree.
reference. Yeah.
And like, okay, the only thing I was missing is they have the one androgynous girl who sort of is like an Amber of the
Yeah.
group. And I was surprised. I thought she was the main rapper, right? So I was waiting for this girl to go. I was like, "Oh, she looking fierce." It never happened. And I did some
She never
research.
went.
I know why it didn't happen now.
She's a
So
dancer, right?
apparently, I heard she's a vocal. I can't confirm this. That's just what I read
Oh.
off of one comment. But she's Japanese for one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she's only been a trainee for 4 months. So what people are thinking is they didn't give her any lines because her Korean pronunciation isn't that good yet. But argument could be said that the girls on Produce 48 were in Korea for less time and had to do Korean lines. So
Yeah.
say what you want.
Oh wait, okay. I'm looking up their profiles right now, right?
Hmm.
The Japanese girl seems like her name is Miyauchi Haruka.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, I mean, she's very old for like.
Oh yeah, no.
In
standards.
comparison.
That was
yeah.
another point. Yeah, is she 1994? I want to say
Three.
Wow.
1993. Wow.
Wow.
She's 1993, and the other kids in the group, if I remember correctly, ranged from 1998 to 2001.
1999 to 2002.
Yeah, so it's a
my
humongous
God.
age gap. And
Right.
I guess what happened was probably the company did some scouting, and they're like, "We love this girl, we love her look. Let's just throw her in this group." Like, that's what it seems like to me.
Probably.
Oh, interesting.
But
I remember. I remember watching this group in some busking videos
Mhm.
before they debuted it, and like a formed group.
Mhm.
I think it's nice to see them debut. They're good.
They were way better than I thought they would be. Like I barely heard anything, but I kept seeing GWSN. I was like, that looks like Uju Sonyo, the
Mhm.
acronym.
No, I thought
Yeah. Yeah.
we just on it too.
So I kept seeing their acronym pop up because I'm an Uju Sonyo fan, and then I finally gave it a listen, and I was like, this is pretty good. I was impressed for a
Mhm.
debut song.
And
And-
we will watch their careers with great interest.
So one thing I've been noticing though is there's already seems to be a rivalry between the fandom of this group and Luna's fans.
Ooh.
I can see that happening.
Why?
I feel
At
like
least-
Luna's fandom's like way bigger though.
Yeah, it's much
It's
bigger,
huge.
but at least in the comment sections, people were being a little nasty. But I don't think anyone should be nasty. We're all K-pop groups are just trying to make it. Let's be real here. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I-
the fact is, like, I feel like both like Luna and like GWSN are like this like new generation, like kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
3.5. Is it? Is that the generation number? Anyways, like I feel like this is like the 0.5 generation right now, so like people are gonna be like really sensitive about this shit.
But at the same time, I'm excited to track their progress and Luna's progress going forward because there's definitely space in the female group like market for them to like get in there. I feel.
Mhm.
All right, let's see. The next song I want to talk about is "Oh My Girls, Remember Me." All right.
Ew.
Okay. I
Did not like.
"Oh My Girl" is one of my sleeper groups that I like.
Yeah,
But-
they're good.
This song for me was a little bit of a letdown. I thought the individual moments of the song was fine, but the main thing I came away with that I felt like there was no actual refrain of the song.
Yeah.
Like it was building up to a point, and I was like, "Oh, here comes this refrain," and it never came. They just went to the next verse.
You know what it reminded me of? Like the music video, the visuals, the song style, everything kind of felt very 2011ish.
Okay,
Hmm.
It had the vibe to it. You know what I mean, right?
it felt
Like,
a little dated.
Yeah.
And going back to another song, I also felt that the Boyz Right Here song felt a little dated as well.
But it was good.
that felt like another like run of the mill boy group song nowadays. Good,
Yeah.
but not great.
I
Yeah,
but
it sounded
not
very
bad.
common.
But Oh My Girl, they're like one of those borderline groups that's like I think it's unfortunate because they're at a point where they need like a banger in order to get into the upper echelon girl groups. Like out of all the girl groups, okay, out of actual people who perform K-pop, like K-pop idols, all the females love Oh My Girl. That's the one. Like it's this phenomenon where every girl group member likes Oh My Girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Oh My Girl is such like in between like tier 1 and tier 2 girl groups where they could get big if they just have one banger, and I just don't think this was that banger.
Yeah, I agree that it wasn't a banger, but personally, I don't think it was too bad. It was pretty
Mhm.
good.
I thought it was
'cause-
about the level where they always are at, which is good but not
Yeah.
tremendous.
exactly like Oh My
Mhm.
Girl's always pretty good.
Mhm.
So
Although Windy Day is my jam.
oh, that was a really good song.
All right, so the other
Alright.
two big songs we had was Pentagon's Naughty Boy.
Ooh.
Pentagon,
Ooh,
I
Naughty
love
Boy.
their quirkiness in all of their music.
I
Very
love
quirky.
this song.
Wait, what? Okay. Am
I
I the only one that
Okay.
doesn't like it?
No,
Am I
it
the only
was
one?
great. Like Hui is a really good songwriter, I think. Besides all the scandal that happened with this
True.
group,
Alright,
like
all the scandals aside, everything aside, speaking like Korean being my first language and like growing up in Korea, like and
mhm.
understanding the Korean culture, this felt very cringy. Like they were putting in nursery rhymes and like the
Mhm.
I
like
mean, I
common
think
puns and shit.
that's what they like to do. Like if you listen to their other song Shine,
Uh-huh.
Pinnari, it was kind of like a similar feel. I feel like that's kind of their concept now. So if you kind of understand the group more, I feel like it won't be as cringe. But I personally thought it was really good. I thought it was almost as good as Shine.
Oh yeah,
but-
I would say I thought
Okay.
it was pretty good, but I thought Shine was the
Better.
stronger song.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
yeah, but it was good. I liked the visuals and everything.
I mean, the song itself was good. I just thought like the theme and
The
the lyrics were
lyrics.
kind
that
of
giant
too
frog
much for
though.
me.
LOL.
Holy shit! A meme festival over here. My
Oh, yeah,
God.
it was pretty memey, but I like that they're like the quirky group, and I'm okay
Yeah,
with
they're
that.
They're
Different,
trying
you
out
know?
stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
completely
different.
down for them to try out some quirky stuff.
We'll see. I'll make my final judgment their next comeback.
Okay. And then the
Yeah.
last song was Shiny's Countless. I thought,
Yay!
as always, Shiny, super professional.
Always.
Good shit.
Always
It's
good
a great
songs.
song.
It-
Yep.
It kind of reminded me of Ed Sheeran in a good way. Like
Hmm.
what's his famous song? The really like
Shape of You.
yeah, Shape of You. It felt like a Shape of You, like the rhythm, like bum 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 bum, and like
Hmm.
So, Anita, I have a
Yes.
question about Shiny fandom. It's not as
Yes.
strong as it once was, right?
Um.
It's still
Well,
strong.
I think it's strong.
I
There's
think it's
hardcores.
strong.
you have to
very-
realize a lot of their
yeah.
fandom's married now and like have kids and shit.
That's
like,
true.
What? Yeah.
Because I'm just looking at straight music video like views right now, and
Oh, yeah.
Pentagon has 1.8 million, and Shiny's
Mhm.
only at 2.1.
mean, Isn't this is not their like title
No.
release?
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
Wasn't
not.
this like the third release
Yeah.
of this album? Like the
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
third
it's not
repackaging?
even their title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it SM Station like? Isn't this their like project thing with SM?
No,
Like,
it's part of the
No.
album.
oh, is it? Oh shit.
It's like
It's the
Suroko.
It's the third repackage, the final repackage.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
So it's like another
this
B
isn't
track
the-
of a
like
B
the-
track.
Big title track they were.
Oh,
they
okay.
had.
Oh,
In
okay.
that reference, I thought this was great then.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that this wasn't an A
It's
track.
doing good.
Yeah, it's not like a main, you know.
Oh, okay. See,
release.
okay, then I'm completely fine with this song then.
Yeah. Great that they came
Yeah.
out with a music video.
Yeah,
for it.
because of course everything's based on context, right? Like,
Yeah.
if this was an A song, I would have been like, ooh, but because it's a B song, God, this is great. All right, so I'm looking at our notes here. Warren, do you want to
Oh,
say
shit.
something?
All right. Oh, with the with like since Show Me the Money is starting and everything, I felt like it's really like noteworthy to like kind of mention this album. The Quiet's
Mhm.
new studio album. I think it's like his 7th or 8th studio album. Just a little background. I've been his fan for like almost 10 years. I'm a huge
Mm.
The Quiet fan guy. This is one of his best albums ever, and in fact, I think this is the best album of the year within Korean hip hop. So
Wow.
Wow.
yeah, I know
Wow.
y'all ain't into that shit, but like, no, you should y'all should
I
like really
got
check
you,
it
I
out.
Bro,
got
all I
you.
listened to was hip
Mm.
hop for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, show me the money.
Yo, can I make a claim here before we even get to the post show? Yo, why is the Quiet got better looking? Like,
That
He was
haircut.
always
Yo,
good looking.
no, I know he was good
Hey, Oppa is always
Yo,
good looking, my man. Like, what?
that haircut, he took off the hat.
Yeah,
Yo, he
I
looking
agree.
good.
Is this album called Glow Forever?
Glow Forever, yeah. And if you
Okay.
only have time for one song, go listen to Go Yard featuring Paul Blanco. Fucking amazing song.
I got you.
All right, so those were the releases, a lot of
Wait,
them.
before we go,
But okay.
I thought Park Jimin's April Fools was a really great song.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
why we
Agree.
didn't mention that, but I was like, wow, this is good. The music video was it was interesting. I was like, 19 plus, what am I gonna
Yep.
expect?
Hmm.
Yo.
Yeah.
So Park Jimin, everyone who doesn't know, she's from JYP. She was originally on Superstar K, which season one, I believe.
Mhm.
She won
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, she won.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
she won?
Yeah.
And this
Oh,
was her
wow.
release that she got after like begging JYP for a song for like half a year, and I thought this
That
was
sounds
great.
sad.
It's-
Shout out to her nose piercing. It looks good.
So cute.
Yo,
yeah.
shout out to her in general. Her acting was pretty good too in this music video.
I know.
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
ooh.
I believed it. I was like, oh snap.
Like, oh shit, she killed a person.
Yeah, but
Cake.
I'm glad that she's doing well. But it's kind of unfortunate for her because it seems like JYP's really on like promoting his groups and not his solo artists right now.
I know.
But those were all the songs for this week. So you should listen to like all of them because I would say almost all of these are pretty good. But let's move on
Yeah.
to the show winners. All right, so I'm not going to name all the shows because that's going to take too long. But what you should know is Yeoja Idol with Han won, let's see, they won 2 more shows. So they're up to 3, which is quite an accomplishment
Wow.
considered
Oh, wow.
BTS was on some of these charts, right? Like
Yeah, that's surprising.
um,
Interesting.
BTS won 3 shows, bringing their total to 5, which is a
Ooh.
little low, but you have to remember that they're only promoting in Korea for 1 week. So
Mhm.
still really good.
Is this their last week or?
Yes.
okay.
They're already in the US doing their tour plus media out there. So they're
Man.
done with Korean
Dang.
tours.
Shout out to BTS.
Yeah, they killing it. And then lastly, an interesting one. Nam Woo Hyun
Yeah.
from Infinite won his first show as a solo artist with
Yay.
Who is
Yay.
this guy?
If Only
I don't
You Are Fine. So he's from Infinite. He's one of the
Mhm.
main members. Well, obviously he's from Infinite. I just said that, but interesting that a solo artist won, considering the groups that are promoting right now. But shout out to him.
Mhm.
Congratulations. That's,
Infinite's fandom is
Mhm.
strong.
yes.
Yeah,
Low
in
key strong.
spirit.
Mm.
But let's move to our main topic: stigmas of liking K-pop. So this is a little more open of a topic than our previous couple of them because like I didn't really prepare that much. I think we're just gonna have an open discussion about the stigmas of liking K-pop. But
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll start off. So what I mean by stigmas of liking K-pop is like as a personal fan, I feel that sometimes my fandom of K-pop is something that I need to keep under wraps a little.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
Yeah.
now, in an ideal world, that wouldn't be the case. But particularly when I'm hanging out with like people who are not into K-pop or who don't understand the culture of K-pop, it's like something I keep on the down low, right? Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm kind of ashamed for 2 reasons, right? It's like I'm ashamed that I have to keep it under wraps, right? But at the same time, it's like I'm ashamed of how they would view me if they knew how much I like K-pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by that is, all right, so the stigma of K-pop, at least this is coming from a male perspective, because as a female's perspective, it might be completely different. when an average person thinks about a K-pop fan or thinks about K-pop in general, they think the guys are way too feminine, right?
Yep.
Lots of makeup, really tight spandex, leather outfits, like.
Right. Pink hair.
And they think if you like girl groups, you're just a creep.
Mhm.
Now, that's just on the surface level, but it is still relevant because let's say I meet someone new, right? They're like, what kind of music you like? I am not going to say K-pop. Like, let's be straight up here.
Same.
I would not say that, even though it is definitely the genre of music I listen to the most by far.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, it's not that I'm ashamed of liking K-pop because obviously it's a huge part of what I listen to and a part of my life. But I'm ashamed of how they would view me and their judgment of me. And I know in life we shouldn't care what other people think, but what other people think is actually quite important.
Yeah.
And if I had to relate this to any other kind of stigma, it's kind of like the stigma of liking anime, where
Yeah.
it's very loaded to say you like anime
Yeah.
straight up to someone. I don't know, but one of my questions that I have is, as a female, Jenny and Anita, do you think that this is less of a stigma or is it about the same?
I think it's about the same because, I'm also like you, kind of embarrassed to say, like, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, I would never say K-pop.
Yeah.
Just like you, like, because I'm afraid of people like judging me. And always, like, if I say I like boy groups, they're like, oh, you like those gay guys? They're so feminine, wearing eyeliner, makeup all the time. So I guess like it's similar to you as like, it's kind of like creepy if you like these kind of guys. So
I think
don't
for
think
me,
it's, yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah. For me, I agree with Jenny. I didn't really feel like there's a difference between being a girl or a guy. I think I mostly notice it in like your background. So if you're not inherently Korean or speak the language, it's a little bit more uncomfortable to admit
I
it
get
just
that.
because people make assumptions like, oh my gosh, you're obsessed. Like, how do you understand
yeah.
this? Why?
That's a really good point because like although I'm Korean American, I consider myself to be like American before being Korean. Do you know what I mean? Like I definitely lean more on that side.
Right.
But I definitely do get the benefit of the doubt of being Korean,
Yeah.
at least phenotypically on the outside. Because if I say I like K-pop, they're like, of course you would, you're Korean, right? Like,
Right.
although it might be loaded, I don't think they would view it as bad as if, for say, I was like a white guy or something, right? Then
Yeah.
Right.
you would come off looking like a little more creepy. But it's one of those things that's like, all right, I get it. On face value, K-pop's kind of strange. Like, let's like upfront, it's a little strange. But once you understand what's going on, you kind of get it. You understand it in a cultural framework within Korea. You get it on the past history of the scene in general. But my question is, another question I had is for Warren, right? So
Hi.
you're probably the most Korean person here right now, right?
Yeah.
In Korea itself, is it weird to like K-pop or no?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was actually gonna talk about this, and I was like trying to like think. I was thinking about like how I was gonna word this, but I've I didn't really notice until recently when I was like really getting into the produce fandom. But I've noticed that a lot of the people in the communities were saying, my friends and family, they have no fucking clue that I watched this show. Like I am, like people are saying, hey, like use your friend's phones, contact your family and be like, and like ask them to vote for the pick and shit like that. And people are like, nah, like I ain't about to do that. Like my friends and family don't know that I'm into this shit. And partially, parts of that I've noticed is that a lot of the like there's like 20-year-old, 30-year-old, even 40-year-old fandoms, and it's kind of creepy for them to like girls as young as being born in 2004,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. So like I feel like the stigma's there. It's the stigma's definitely there, but I don't feel like it's as strange as is in the West. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
I
Like,
completely I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
feel like in Korea, it's kind of more dependent on like what age you are.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you're
same.
in high school, maybe a little bit in college, like no one really judges you. You know, it's like a
Mhm.
fangirling thing. Everyone likes K-pop. Everyone has their favorite group. But once you're 30 years old and a little older, everyone's kind of like, oh, like you're still into that stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I feel like that's where it's very similar to anime, where in Japan, or even in Korea, if you're in grade school and you're watching Naruto,
It's
people are gonna be like,
normal.
whatever, it's fine.
Mhm.
But once you start hitting college and you go
Yeah.
to
Right.
military and stuff like that, it's different.
I think this ties into our talk of biases, where it's like it should be all about intentions, right? Like
Mhm.
Mhm.
if you sitting there like fantasizing over like 17-year-olds, that's something inherently wrong with you, right? But
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand why, if you say you like K-pop, why someone would think that you think like that, right? Like I get it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, for someone like me who's a little older, right, in my mid 20s, it's like I like K-pop not because I fantasize these kids, want to be with them, any of that. I like it because number one, I find the music interesting, and number two, I like to see people succeed in their passion, right?
Mhm.
And that's probably my basis of being really into fandoms and stuff.
Mhm.
But
I mean,
oh, you could go, Anita.
oh no, I was just gonna add on to that because I think as I've getting into K-pop during my high school years, I feel like it felt normal in a way to a certain extent to be really into the groups at that time. But as I've grown older, I just feel that it's just not that acceptable to be that into it. So I kind of just
Yes.
There's
listen
levels to
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
more. Yeah.
Like, okay, so like low key when we met Warren, he didn't give a crap about any of this, right?
What was twice? Oh.
And for the longest time, I thought like Jenny was really deep into this. She is very deep in this. Let's be real here.
Yes. I have something to say
But
about
I've
that.
definitely gotten deeper into K-pop since I've met Jenny.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Mm.
bro, like I signed up for my first fan cafe last night.
I know. Let's go.
Like, yo, cause like I've decided that iZone's my group. Like, it is the group for
Wow.
me now.
Shit.
But
Okay. I have something to say about getting like deep into K-pop.
okay.
So basically, I was judged. I had an argument about this with my boyfriend,
Mm.
and he's like, "I've seen people who like K-pop. I've never seen someone likes it like that deep. Like you're so obsessed. I've never seen like such a fangirl.
Wait,
You know?"
pause for a second. Pause for a second. Is he okay
Uh-huh.
with you saying this on air?
Yes. I
Okay.
asked permission.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Kurachi.
Okay. Well, so he was basically saying like it's okay to like, have interest in K-pop, but it's really weird to like get deep into them, like, buy all their albums and all that stuff. And my argument was like, it's just like getting deep into any other interest, you know? Like he likes
Yeah, I agree.
basketball, like American pop. Like you can buy their albums, you can buy their stuff. Like it's the same thing. So I think like having that respect for whatever you like whatever you
Mhm.
support is super important.
Yeah.
And yeah, like not until college, like I felt that respect because in high school where I grew up, like I'm from Alabama, like no one even knows what K-pop is, okay? And like they
Mhm.
don't care about Asian culture or anything like that.
Do they know what
Yeah.
Korea is? Like,
Oh god.
Yeah, I mean they do.
You know what it is? It's like I don't want to have to explain everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
that too.
I
That too.
agree.
Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
easier not to talk about it because then I don't have to go into like the levels of my fandom, why it's not creepy that I like X, Y, and Z
Yeah.
group. Like
I
Yeah.
know. And just
You're
talking about it
defending
makes
it.
you more like a creep.
but yeah, we've probably all had this moment, right? You have a friend and you think that they like K-pop, right? But you're like, how do I bring it up to
Mhm.
actually gauge how much they like K-pop?
I know.
That's a
If you're
huge
just like,
thing.
oh, I know BTS to like
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so that was the point I was gonna end with. That like I'm happy that BTS is making it in the West because it's made a lot of these stigmas a lot less in general.
yeah.
oh yeah.
I think that's a double-edged sword though, because I don't know, maybe it has to do with just how big ARMY fandom is, but sometimes when the fandom is that big, and the fans are really young, they can give like a bad reputation to just
Yeah,
Mm.
okay.
yeah, it's just how people are. I don't know. I
No, no.
think I noticed that a lot I think with BTS in particular, because I I liked the group when they were just starting off, but as they got bigger and bigger, um I don't know, it was just a little too much what
I-
people were saying.
I do feel like it's a double-edged sword because I'll give an example. So the iZone group that came out of Produce 48, right? Overall,
Mhm.
Korean and Japanese fans were pretty satisfied with the lineups. Even with the fact that there was only 3 Japanese kids, the Japanese fandoms in general were generally okay with it, right? The
Yeah.
humongous backlash for iZone is in the West. Like, fans hate the lineup, and there's tons of comments of like, I'm not even gonna like the group because I'm not happy with the lineup, right? And it's one of those things like, I feel like everyone should like K-pop, right? But I feel like because a lot of people who are now into K-pop are fairly new into the game because of BTS and
yeah.
other groups who've made it in the West, they don't like. I don't want to say like they don't understand everything, but at the same time they don't like they're too hardcore in their like their willingness
yeah.
to be anti-fans to some people.
I'm gonna dial it back and relate to that and the BTS point Anita made really quick earlier, because that's something I can really relate to. And back when BTS was kind of new, I wasn't really into K-pop, and that was the time when I was going through my middle ages of just listening to just rap. And
Mhm.
there was an incident where a rapper called Be Free publicly
Oh.
fired.
Oh, yeah.
BTS fans don't know, but what happened was he publicly kind of criticized BTS, being like, "Hey, you guys are K-pop, you guys
Yeah.
are hip hop, all that kind of shit." And BTS fans to this day still kind of shit on Be Free and rap fans in general
Mhm.
for that kind of thing. And every time that kind of happens, me, the hip hop fan in me, is like, "Fuck these bitches! Like, what the fuck's going on?" Like, but at the same time, I'm just like the K-pop fan in me is like, I mean, if someone said that to Twice, like,
Mm.
Exactly.
it's like
exactly.
it's definitely a double-edged sword. Like I mean,
Yeah.
But
No,
then again, what isn't a double-edged sword? But like,
I'm happy that tons of people are getting into K-pop right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But I feel like it's so easy these days to be anonymous on the internet and just drop a bunch of hate without understanding context and understanding like K-pop in general, because there's a huge portion of people who are straight up only into BTS, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say only into BTS, but they have a very like limited knowledge of the whole scene, right?
Right.
Mm.
And they're casual, like they might be hardcore into BTS, but they're very casual listeners to everything else. And because of that, it paints they're so blind. I'll just say it. They're so blinded by BTS that they don't know how to look at other groups.
Yeah.
I feel like
agree.
that applies to a lot, not the whole thing, but yeah.
But I'm happy that these people are getting into K-pop, and
Yeah.
it definitely reduces the stigma of liking K-pop in general. But at the same time, it's adding new nuances to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it just creates like an association between like the way some of the fans speak or talk about other groups that are not their favorite group. And I guess that's what makes me personally want to like distance myself from that, like the fandom culture of K-pop, because I don't agree with a lot of what they say.
So it's one of those things. Like, so in general, a fandom or a certain genre of something is judged based on the extreme ends, right? Like,
Right.
although it would be ideal if K-pop was judged on the average fan, right? Someone who's pretty deep
Yeah.
in, has a decent knowledge. You're always judged by the extremes. It happens for K-pop. It happens in the news. It happens overall.
Just psychology in general, yeah.
So when people, like, let's say I told someone I like K-pop and they don't have a deep knowledge, they're going to instantly put me in line with the extreme viewpoints of K-pop.
Yeah, what they know.
That it's exploitive, it's sexualized, it's
Yeah.
feminine, those kind of things.
Surgery.
Now, as I said before, it's like I avoid these conversations because it's a conversation that it's gonna take way longer than 5 minutes to explain this, right?
Yes.
But I'll give an example of a time where this kind of happened and I like completely diffused the situation. So at my work, right, one of my coworkers is into K-pop, right, and he's non-Korean, he's Chinese. Right?
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm almost positive he won't listen to this, so I'll continue, right? But
Hi, Doug's coworker.
we work in a very quiet environment and an open floor plan. And then from a couple cubicles away, he's trying to talk to me about K-pop.
Yo.
And I was so uncomfortable. Like, I would be fine if we talked about this on the down low, right? We go out to lunch or something, we talk about it, that's fine. We go for a walk, we talk about it. But it's like in the middle of the office day, like it's just like pigeonholing me into everything that could occur within K-pop at once. And
okay, I feel like the way you feel like that is because, like, let's say it was like anime, for example. I feel like you would feel the same way, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like a part of this is because, like, when you're deep into K-pop, people think, oh, is that like what you do in your free time? Is that like all you do? Like, how do you know so much? Exactly. I feel like there's another part of like judging in that because like, oh, like you're not being productive with your time, you're just spending all your time
That's
like
true.
looking at K. But like I feel like that also creates like a stigma because you're not, you know, you're just watching like boy and stuff instead of doing something better with your time. But there's nothing wrong with that.
There is something to be said about not giving any fucks though, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, so like I have like confidence and image issues anyway, right? And this is more of an extension of that, but I feel like this kind of hiding of K-pop fandom is very common amongst people who do like
I mean,
K-pop.
yeah, even if you don't have these kind of like personal complexes, it's definitely an issue. Like,
I'm shout out to my parents because they completely get it and they're chill with all this. Like, I know my mom's completely on board. My dad has become on board over time. Like, he judges K-pop just on the musicality, but he's completely okay with me liking this kind of stuff. But shout out to them because I could completely see a world where they wouldn't be cool with this.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug's mom. Yeah.
I mean, I think there is nothing wrong. Like, it's just liking music. Like, you could like American music just
I mean,
exactly the same way.
The fact is there's nothing wrong, but people judge people, and that's how society runs.
Honestly, like, I think having this talk overall, it's like, I feel like I should be more upfront with, like, I'm never gonna like, that's not gonna be my icebreaker. It's not gonna be, hi, I'm Doug, I like K-pop, right? That would be weird still. That would be so strange. But at the same time, I feel like because I'm so into it and because we have a platform where we talk about it now, this podcast and stuff. So this is like another level of the fandom. Let's be real. Like, I feel like I have to be more open, and to the extent where I should be, I feel like there's a responsibility of, if you know a lot about K-pop and you know that it's not just creepy, I feel the responsibility that I have to be somewhat of an ambassador of it to other people.
Yeah.
Like, not to force them to like it, but force them to understand it a little more.
Yeah. Okay. Also, you never know who likes K-pop.
Oh, I know. It's the weird. All right.
Like, it's the
weirdest
people.
mix.
Everyone kind of hides it like we do. Like, one time I was sitting in this class and my background at the time was GOT7's Jin Young. And this white girl who was sitting next to me, she's like, is that Jin Young? And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Damn.
I'm like, what the heck? How do you know him? So we ended up going to a GOT7 fan meeting together in Chicago.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, do I know this girl?
Oh yeah, I think you've met her once.
Yo,
She was
okay.
in a-
I'm gonna give another shout out. Shout out to my best friend Matt. Right, like, we were driving in the car one day and he put on Twice, and I had no clue he liked K-pop at all. Like, he knew that I like K-pop, but he likes K-pop now. Shout out to him.
Yo, since
What
we're
a
doing
moment.
shout out to one of my friends in Chinese last year. She did her Chinese presentation on K-pop, and I was like,
Wow.
yo, what is
Look at
going
her.
on?
Dang.
So
I'm Chinese class and I have twice on my screen. What the fuck?
I hate when there's a problem but no solution, right? Like there's an inherent stigma with liking K-pop, but the advice I would like to give, and it's not only to like the listeners or to you guys, it's to myself, is I feel like when you have a decent understanding of K-pop, it's sort of your responsibility to go out and be somewhat of an ambassador of it.
Good ambassador, yeah.
Because if it's something that you care about, like I care about K-pop, it's had a big influence on my life, and like definitely my like teenage years into my adult years. I feel like I need to share with the world, which is what we're doing right now with this podcast. Like,
Yes.
with
Hello,
K-pop.
universe.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna add on to that a little bit, and because the anime fandom, right? It's like not really the fandom, but like the stigma on anime has kind of in the past like decade or so definitely gone a lot more lighter.
Before we continue, do you think it's worse for anime fans or for K-pop fans?
Right now, I think it's worse for K-pop fans.
I think right now it's no. I agree with that kind of.
Yeah,
I kind of agree too.
Because like, I think ever since we decided on doing this episode, I kind of thought about how that kind of happened. Because anime used to be definitely like a really niche kind of like your mother's basement kind of thing. And like there was a point, I think, I'm not sure when, but like weebs started accepting weebery and they started being degenerate online and like kind of like started making fun of themselves and like kind of became a little more confident. You know what I mean? Like if I write, you know, in like an anime meme subreddit and I go like, hey, if I comment something like, oh, you filthy weebs, and that's gonna get a bunch of upvotes. But if I say something similar in like a K-pop subreddit, like, oh, you filthy Korea boos, that's gonna get a fuck ton of downvotes. So, like, I feel like self-acceptance, first of all, should be the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. I like that perspective because like you have to accept the fact that you like K-pop before you even tell anyone else.
True.
Like I met this one girl who was like, oh, I like BTS, but I don't like K-pop. And I was like, yo, like BTS is K-pop. What the fuck you mean? Like,
yeah. And honestly,
wrong
it's
with
nothing.
her?
It's nothing to be ashamed of. Because
It's not. It's just like you said, like I don't want to go through that process of explaining.
I know you don't want to go through the process of explaining it, but I feel like sometimes you should go through that process of explaining it a little, at least.
I try to do a good job.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not like we really resolved the issue because the stigma is going to exist. But I'm happy we talked about this because it's definitely changed my opinion a little.
Man.
I think like in the near future, now that we see BTS is doing really well, I hope, you know, more groups make it up there, and you know, I hope K-pop is more like talked about and more like better known to people.
It's definitely more widespread, and over time I definitely think people will understand the culture more because at the end of the day it's like
it'll just
K-pop's it's like K-pop's a landscape, but it's definitely rooted a lot by the Korean culture itself. So by people understanding K-pop and the scene in general, that understanding will increase as people learn more about Korean culture in general.
You know, I had this dream one time where K-pop got really, really big. Like it became to the point where like there was like a lot of groups like BTS that are like really famous. And like it was a dream, right? I don't remember the details, but that kind of like somehow led to like Trump being really friendly with like the the Korean president. And, like the country, the North and South Korea reunified, and the military was gone, and I didn't have to go to the military. So let's make that dream come true, guys.
All right.
I don't want to go to Google.
All right. Well, that's the end of this topic.
World peace.
So
K-pop is world peace.
My final thoughts would be like what you like. You're not obligated to tell anyone you like K-pop, but I hope that over time you learn to accept yourself for liking K-pop, and you can like help show other people, because like nothing's better when someone talks about something they're passionate in. And if you're passionate in K-pop, it's like it's nothing shameful to be. So that's what we'll finish this topic. All right, let's go on to big news from the from the past week. So the first one is Wannabe aiming to come back in November with their last album.
Last album.
So sad.
Bye.
So it seems like after the holiday season of concerts and shows, they will probably disband, unfortunately.
I'm crying.
Bye.
I'm not the biggest fan of 101, but it's been a fun ride.
Yeah.
I'll put it like that.
I'm gonna miss seeing them on variety shows.
Yeah.
I'm
they're-
gonna be depressed when they disband.
No.
Doug, wait, Doug, that's gonna be you in 2.5 years.
All right, be quiet. That's the third news. Let me do the second one first. So
Oh.
the second one is Sunmi reportedly not planning to sign with another agency after leaving JYP, and her father will be managing her schedule. Interesting.
Mr. Dogo over here.
So that kind of adds to my conspiracy theory that her dad has just taken over her whole career a little. Now, I'm completely rooting for Sunmi. I hope she does well. But at the same time, it's still very strange that she left JYP at the timing she did. And hopefully we will learn more as time goes forward.
At this point, I'm just hoping that she doesn't disappear for like 10 years and appears
Yeah.
on TV.
Exactly. Because
Being
it's one
like,
of those
yeah.
situations, like, they're saying the break was amicable, but if it wasn't, JYP definitely has the power to make her career a lot more difficult than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know about, you should go check out our previous episode.
On blacklisting. All right.
Yeah.
But next one. Eyes One announces debut date in late October. So they will simultaneously launch in Korea and Japan, and they are reportedly signing 2.5-year contracts where at least the first year to year and a half is all of the members of the group have to exclusively promote with iZone, and then the last year or so they can do their own stuff with their own companies and also do iZone. That's
Man, that is
what
a long
rumors are.
contract.
That's
Wow.
a long ass time.
It's a long
Why didn't they do
time.
that for 101?
Why didn't they do that for IOI?
Just
Dang.
expanding it more and more.
I'm excited though. Yo, like late October, I could wait till then. I could wait a month.
That's really soon.
It's fairly. Also, today, so breaking news: they apparently moved into the dorms yesterday.
Ooh.
It's starting. That's what they're saying.
Wow.
The reality show. Wait, is all the members or just the Korean members?
For now, I know that a friend of one of the Korean members leaked that she had moved into the dorm. I don't know about the Japanese members, but apparently the Korean members are in the dorms already.
Oh,
Ooh.
Interesting stuff. So, next one. Politician Kim Jong-ro is preparing the BTS Act to give military exemption to artists. So, little controversial because he's saying this on the back of an election that's coming up. So, a lot of fans are criticizing him, saying that he's using
Yeah.
this kind of thing just to gain votes. So,
Interesting.
there
We'll
there
see
is
where it
there
goes
is
with
definitely an
this.
open debate in Korea about giving cultural assets
Yeah.
exemption though.
Mhm.
So it is rooted in something that's truthful. But considering considering the Asia Games were more or less gets Song Hyung-min out of going to Gundae Championship anyway, giving artists exemption doesn't seem that far from that at this point. But we will see. All right, next, financial analyst highlights new artist debut plans for SM, JYP, and YG from now until 2020. So,
Oh wow.
this article basically states all of the new groups that they think the big three have planned. So for SM, they think the only new group is going to be fall 2019, which is NCT China.
Yeah.
For YG, their only new group that they think is going to happen is in fall of next year. They think there's going to be a new boy group, which sort of makes sense because Big Bang will still be like armying it up at that point.
Arming it up.
And then the crazy one is JYP. So
JYP's crazy.
within the next like 2-3 years, they expect 5 new groups.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
So they think fall 2018, as we've covered, they think there's a new Korean girl group, which will probably come out of a reality show. And also one of the groups that has been confirmed is Boy Story, which is going to be a Chinese group, which is definitely debuting during the fall.
Wow.
And then 2019, 2 more groups. Another boy group in China next fall,
Oh god.
and a new girl group. So pretty much twice Japan will be next year as well. And,
That's a lot.
and then lastly, they think in fall of 2020 there will be another girl group in Korea. So potentially he'll be managing 3 girl groups in Korea at the same time.
Jesus, I'm not sure if that sounds like a bad idea. Like
Yeah.
3 girl groups, all active, like 2 debuting in like the span of 2 years.
Yeah. That
I
it
don't
seems
know,
like
man.
overkill because like already debuting a new group this year seems a little premature to me, but in like 3 years having 3 groups all like sort of in their prime seems a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's going to be very crowded, but we'll see because all of this is probably subject to change, but this is just what people are reporting right now. All right, next article. So Big Hit Entertainment is now valued at 2.5 trillion Korean won, which is the equivalent of $2.2 billion US. And if you remember from our last episode, SM and JYP were on the stock market values were only about $1 billion each.
Holy shit.
So
Oh god.
it honestly just comes down to the worldwide success because there's so much money to be made.
Yeah.
But good for them. And I really wonder if Big Hit has a plan for the like after BTS has to go to the army, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But we will see because they are killing it right now. But let's see if they can maintain this level of success going forward, right? In a couple of years.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like they have a couple years to plan. So I think they'll be fine. But we'll see if they can remain this hot. And lastly, okay, so
Should I say this one? I know you didn't. I added this last one.
I think we should talk about this one in the post show.
This isn't really about Show Me the Money though.
Okay, so rap related. There's apparently going to be another rap show coming in November, which is going to be called Target Billboard Kill Bill, which is going to be collabs between Korean artists and pop artists with the aim of getting the first Korean rap song on the Billboard charts.
The thing is, I'm not sure if this is gonna be rap only. I've read other articles where it says it's gonna be just generally K-pop.
Okay, but some big names. So Doki's pretty much confirmed to be on this show, and the big rumor that's floating around right now is that Drake is going to be one of the first Western artists.
Wait, so
God.
Drake isn't like confirmed for sure yet, right?
He's not confirmed for sure, but there is multiple reports that it's
Wow.
like Drake's gonna show up on the show.
Apparently, they're still talking about it and like trying to figure out the schedule.
I see.
Man,
I mean,
Man.
I don't know how successful this show will be if its main purpose is to break into the Western chart.
I think the show itself will do horrible. Like
Mm.
it's okay. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be on NBC Everyone and NBC Music. That's like none of like the major music none of the major channels. I don't think it'll do really well.
yeah, it's
But
not
I
even
just-
like main NBC. It's like the sub NBC channel.
Right. This is like a cable of a cable channel that's going on here. But like Drake and Doki, yo,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo!
That is crazy.
That honestly, if there's like an artist to do it, like it's Drake or Doki or like Drake and Jay Park could make something happen. I feel.
yeah.
Mm.
Yo, Jenny, tell your boyfriend, get him excited. I know he likes Drake.
I will.
All right, but lastly, we got the upcoming releases. So tomorrow, September 12th is tomorrow. Hyomin's coming back. Next Monday on September 17th, GOT7's finally coming back. I know Jenny's hyped for that.
Yay!
And then in a week on September 18th, which is a Tuesday, Unity, which is the group that came out of the unit, the female group,
Yeah.
is going to be coming back with their last song. So
Wait, that already?
yes, last song.
Oh,
And
wow.
overall, they have not been a commercial success anywhere near IOI has been. But they will be coming back. All right, so do we got anything else? Anyone got anything else they're listening to lately? 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, sold. All right, so thanks everyone for listening. This has been SojuTalk, your weekly shot at K-pop. I was joined today by Warren,
Thanks, everybody.
Jenny,
Thanks, guys.
Anita,
Thank you for listening.
and I am Doug. Instagram.com/Doug92Kim. So please watch this podcast on YouTube, download it on all the platforms, including iTunes and Spotify. And please check out our post show, which is a YouTube exclusive, where we're going to be covering Show Me the Money 777.
Triple
we
seven.
will see you next week. Bye.